What is autism spectrum disorder, and what's it like being diagnosed autistic as an adult? As an autistic adult, what insights and tips on how to come to terms with autism can I offer? It's coming up. Hello, my name's Eddie and welcome to my channel, Life Begins at 50. If you're new here and you'd like some ideas on how to get the best out of life, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future videos. In this video, I'm looking at autism spectrum disorder and especially what that means if you're diagnosed later on in life like I have. I'll look at how this can affect your family, friends, intimate and professional relationships and how to manage it once you're diagnosed. For me personally, left undiagnosed and left to its own devices, it's caused utter carnage in my life. Before we dive into this, it's probably best we'll look at autism spectrum disorder and what it is. Autism is a lifelong neurological developmental disability which can cause repetitive behaviours, affect your social skills, and how you process information is different. About 1 in 100 people are on the autism spectrum, and there are about 700,000 autistic adults and children in the UK. Autism is not an illness and there is no cure. It's classed as a disability and autistic people are protected under the Disability at Work Act and the Equality Act. Now, I'm not going to claim that I'm an expert at autism, and I'm aware that everyone with autism experiences it in their own unique way. Obviously, I can only speak from my own personal experiences. However, autistic people broadly struggle in some or all of these main areas. 1. Difficulties interacting socially and professionally with other people. They often misread social cues, find it difficult to interpret people's meaning or feelings, and sometimes come across as abrasive or blunt. I particularly struggle in this area. 2. Can have repetitive or restrictive behaviour patterns. 2. Can have repetitive or restrictive behaviour patterns. This may mean they need routines or struggle with people interfering with their plans or projects. They may also have repetitive hand or body movements. 3. They may suffer from sensory sensitivities. They can be sensitive to light or sounds, for example. Some don't like to be touched. I know that if I feel upset, I don't like to be hugged or touched in any way. 4. Autistic people can suffer badly from anxiety due to their discomfort at social situations. About a third of autistic people suffer from significant mental health issues. I've suffered from anxiety throughout my life in an attempt to fit in. 5. Autistic people can be have highly focused interests or hobbies. Autistic people often spend an enormous amount of time researching subjects or making things. They quite often become experts in their field, and despite becoming good at their chosen careers, quite often can be hindered by the relationships they have with others, or frustrated if others don't share their passions or see what they can see. This is another area where I particularly struggle, and I can become easily frustrated with others in what I perceive to be odd beliefs or behaviours. People with autism are prone to meltdowns or outbursts of rage or just shutting down altogether. Carrying stress and anxiety most of their waking lives, it doesn't take much to push an autistic person over their particular line. Famous autistic people include Elon Musk, Albert Einstein, Charles Darwin, Bill Gates, and of course, Susan Boyle, the Scottish singer from the X Factor.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
If you're an adult and have recently been diagnosed with autism later on in life, please let me know in the comments below about your experiences. Now, not knowing that I was autistic and having it wreak havoc throughout my life, I eventually had a bit of a breakdown during the second half of 2018. I sought professional help, and after some cognitive analytical therapy, I was provided with an autism screening test. 18 or so months later, I had the full tests and I was officially diagnosed in March just this year, 2021. For me, it came as a huge relief, but not as a complete surprise. One of the common strategies for autistic people throughout life is to subconsciously adopt a survival mechanism called masking, and it's developed to camouflage our autistic traits and to develop a sort of superficial social competence. It's an illusion created in order to fit in and how I understand now that I've been doing it since I was a child. Even now I shrink in social situations, especially if I'm amongst several people and the socialising purpose is conversation, like having a group meal for example. I barely say a word and find the whole experience quite stressful. If the object of the socialising is focusing on something other than group conversation, I'm usually quite fine. I can camouflage, like participating in a sport, a game, or watching footy at the pub. I'm able to create the illusion of being sociable. To become good at masking, we observe people and listen closely to people around us and try and make sense of what's going on, and then to mimic the bits that will help us get on. It's exhausting and results in us carrying around a lot of stress and anxiety just under the surface. It's a full-time job. Of course, to the untrained eye, you might ask, well, if you were autistic, how did you manage to function in the military and then in a career as a police officer? There isn't really a straightforward answer to that, but in a nutshell, it was a combination of quite good camouflage skills, or masking, being good at sport and being competent at my job. Also, the military life is very structured, disciplined, and very kind of matter-of-fact in its environment. Unfortunately, as I progressed through my 30s and certainly into my 40s as a police officer, I was running out of rope, and the undiagnosed traits of autism were causing me difficulties. Having this official diagnosis, it's such a relief. And if you suspect you might be autistic and it's causing you problems in your life, then I can't recommend highly enough to get yourself tested, especially for the work environment, as once diagnosed, your employer is required to discuss and implement support measures for you. If I had been diagnosed many years ago, I fully believe I would have had a completely different career. Going forward, even though I know I'm autistic, it doesn't make any of those traits go away, and I can't change the past. However, I now accept and embrace that I'm an esoteric person and unlikely to have many friends, but that's just life. To help me, I've also been learning about the philosophy of Stoicism and the life hacks it provides. Stoicism for me is a bit like having the cheat codes for life. It's an operating system for the brain that helps you deal with highly emotional situations and prevents you from being dragged under. I'll do a separate video about Stoicism and how it helped me overcome mental health issues. If there's a better philosophy for a healthy life than Stoicism, then I haven't heard of it. If I were to offer some advice to adults with autism, I would say study Stoicism and try and live an authentic life that stops you telling yourself victim stories and removes you from situations that cause you difficulties. That means get out of that toxic relationship, that job that makes you feel miserable. Stop looking for things outside of yourself to bring meaning into your life. Accept that you can only control your own thoughts and your own actions. Find problems to solve, do volunteer work, and embrace discomfort. In fact, seek it out. Push yourself out of your comfort zone and strive to learn new things. Autism can be your superpower. Well, thank you for watching this video. It was a hard one for me to put together, I can tell you. But if you'd like to see me share more wisdoms on life and how to get the best out of it, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. It also helps my channel grow, so thanks very much. If you liked it, please hit the like button and feel free to leave your comments below. Until next time, catch you later.